Even while in school, I knew I can't depend on my parent anymore. You know that stage where you get to where you just know that you can't keep calling your parent that, oh, I need this and that. So it was an interesting stage of mine. Hello everyone, I'm Funcho Felix, a brand designer, a strategist, a consultant, a coach, and also an entrepreneur. In this video, I'll be discussing how I quit Fiverr and made my first 100,000 naira on Instagram. Let's go. So the year is 2017 when I first heard about Fiverr. Okay, then I was at a stage where I was changing discipline in university. Then I was transferring from biochemistry to psychology, and I think then there was this long break that we had then, and so it was like a change of career for me. And part of why I made the change was so that I could further my entrepreneurship journey. I knew that I was at a time where I needed to make something for myself. Even while in school, I knew I can't depend on my parent anymore. You know that stage where you get to where you just know that you can't keep calling your parent that, oh, I need this and that. So it was an interesting stage of mine. So there's this popular website in Nigeria. It's called Nairaland. Nairaland is a very interesting website. It's probably the most visited forum in the whole country. So I had been a stark member of Nairaland for like years. I think 6 years prior to then. And then it was then that I now discovered this interesting section. And it's the business section. I fell in love with that section. There is a lot of things to learn. People are coming with interesting opportunities. I heard of Fiverr back then. Before Fiverr really came in, I was like doing something related to affiliate marketing. This JVZoo, ClickBank and all of those things. But then I realized that was taking a lot of my time, and Fiverr was actually something interesting. So I decided I'm going to go into Fiverr. I didn't even know how it worked then. It was just because of the fact that people said that it can serve as a platform where you can earn some passive income. So then I got on Fiverr. It was really interesting. There was a section like dedicated to Fiverr on Ireland back then. It was really interesting. So I got on Fiverr with those instructions, and the first gig that I offered on Fiverr was virtual assistant gig. I don't know how to do anything then. I didn't have any skills. It was just the Ozu culture in me that pushed me to Fiverr, right? So the first gig I created was about virtual assistant. I feel like virtual assistant is something that I could do, because definitely I know my way around the internet, and I can help with some manual admin jobs and all of this stuff. My first gig was about virtual assistant. So I think then I started getting some jobs. I started bidding in the job section, started getting some orders, and people were ordering, and yeah, it was really interesting. It was going so well back then. It went so well, really. It went so well. Fast forward to a year after, because there's this thing about Fiverr. It's not a dependable source of income. All right. In a month, you might be getting 3, 4, 5 orders at a time. In some months, everything is just totally dry. Like, people are not posting jobs. People are not inboxing you anymore. You're not even getting any DMs of some sort. So it was really unstable then, right? So that period coincides with the period where I figured out CorelDRAW. Yeah, I figured out CorelDRAW. So here's the backstory, right? But right from the start, in my secondary school days, and I had that, but desktop computer then is not really stable in the location, right? So whenever it comes, it brings out the desktop from where he packed it, and whenever it's going, it takes them back in, because of course I was a child then. So what would I be using system to choose? Just to play game, and at the end of the day I'll probably just spoil it. So it was doing that for a while, right? But it got to a point where that wasn't sustainable anymore, so he had to be leaving the desktop as they were on the table back then. So I was the first child then, so and my brains were probably sharp, right? So I used to play with computer a lot. Then I play a lot of games, GTA, Win 11, name them. So during all those period of me frolicking about, frolicking about computer, trying to be computer savvy, I discovered this interesting program back then. It's a CorelDRAW. Then it was still CorelDRAW 4. Then I felt like, okay, like you can draw anything on that software. It was really amazing. Like you can draw, like picture anything, you can draw it. It was just something that I fancied. So fast forward to 2017, I think late 2017, there's this laptop inside the house that I've always been using that laptop to play game. Even when I got into university, when I come home, I always pick it up and just flex with it and just all of this stuff. Right. So it got to a point where I realized, okay, this CorelDRAW, there was a CorelDRAW then on it. That one has kind of expired. It wasn't launching again. So I had to buy another installation disk for it, and I had to install it, and boom, it just worked. And I was super excited that finally, I could use this thing. So it didn't even occur to me to go and check YouTube to check for design or anything. I was just fascinated by the fact that I can design. And prior to that, when I finished secondary school back then, I had gone to learn graphic design actually. All these shop for printing, quick typing, typesetting, all those. Yeah, so there was a family member then that was doing that kind of thing. So I think I spent like a couple of months learning about graphics, like CorelDRAW, the basics, right? The very basics of graphics, like how to alignments, type, colors, all of those things. I had already learned that. How to manipulate stuff, how to design anything using shapes and all of those things. I had learned all of those then. So it was just like there was this latent period in between then and when I actually installed a new CorelDRAW version on my laptop at home. So, and even at that, I have actually worked as a graphic designer for a firm. Then I think it only lasted a month before I ran away. So I just realized that, okay, this is it. Now this is graphics. I could actually design, right? I could actually create something. I can actually create something for people. So I wasn't alien to design then. I wasn't alien to it because I've had prior knowledge from all these experiences that I've just shared. So although then, like I said, no prior knowledge, no prior official formal upbringing. It was just my creativity. I think that was the point that I knew I was actually going to be a logo designer. I was actually going to be a brand designer, because right from the start, logo has been something that fascinates me a lot. Like, I want to be able to conceptualize things into small shape. Let it represent a business or something and put it out there. It's so interesting because I like because it kind of shows how clever you are if you're able to design something like a mark that will represent Nike, or something like a stripe that will represent a brand like Adidas. I felt like a superhuman. Then I was still actually doing Fiverr, right? It was a side thing. I was getting some order, but it got to a time where the orders were really not coming again. And at that point, I had made like almost $2,000 from Fiverr. I think that would be within a year, right? That's like within a year and some months. I'd made that amount. I'm almost at that stage where I will go to level 2, which is super awesome. So when I realized that graphics is something that can sustain me, it was just a realization. There was no plan. There was nothing planned. I didn't even know how I did it. Like, I did not plan anything. I just feel like going forward, Fiverr cannot sustain me. I cannot keep on relying on being hopeful. In fact, then I offered some graphic design gig on Fiverr, which I sold. I sold some. I didn't sell. I didn't really. Graphic design gig wasn't my best selling gig on Fiverr. It was virtual assistant. So, like I said, I realized this. I can't be a virtual assistant all my life. Let me pursue this passion. This thing is scalable. I could build an agency out of it. I could hire people. This could be something very, very big, right? So I dropped Fiverr then. Like I dropped it. I wasn't doing the Fiverr again, and I just focused on graphic design. So it was also a learning kind of phase for me, because I was having to learn a lot of things. I was having to actually work on real life projects and also make money also while doing that. 2018, 2017, I went into design fully. Late 2017 and 2018 thereabout, I went into design fully. Then I started doing design, right? So then I was getting some jobs here and there. So one of the things that I did back then was I messaged someone that I know. He prints, or there are all these kind of people that brand shirts and all of those things. So I messaged him, and I took his logo, I redesigned his logo, and I sent it to him then, and he liked it. Like, he was completely in love with it, because after then he was still showcasing, he was flexing the logo. To me, it was just like I was catching fun, I was kind of like flexing my creativity, so nothing really much. And then he kind of took me in, and he told me he was going to be giving me jobs. He was going to be collecting graphic design gigs, and he was going to be giving me the branding aspect, and so he was going to be paying me, right? Now, that was how I kind of got into graphics, right? So right from the start, I've been working on real life project. Even when I first learned it, I created a few logos for, I think, I remember creating a logo for 500 naira. In dollars, that would be like $1. I mean, it's 0.9 or $0.8. So it's really ridiculous. Then I remember creating a logo for 500 naira. I remember creating a logo for 1,000 naira. Yeah, it was really crazy. Humble beginnings. So as time went on, I was taking job from the man, and I was also learning on the go, because I was having to learn a lot, right? And I was having to practice like a lot, right? So 2018, I think late 2018, I had grown massively, because I had worked on a lot of projects, like real life projects. And then I remember going online to create like a page, like a thread, and I was able to work on some projects too. Some people came in from Lana then, and I was able to work on their logo and all of that. So one thing led to the other. I got on Instagram. I don't know how, I don't know what motivated me, but Instagram was like the game changer for me. That phase was a phase which was really changing, because I had to be exposed to some world-class designs. I met some world-class designers, experienced designers from so many niches, so many fields, different fields, and so many countries. It really changed the game for me. And something about design is that you are what you expose yourself to. You are what you expose yourself to. If you expose yourself to work designs, then you're going to be creating some work designs. If you expose yourself to excellent designs, then excellent design what is going to be in your brain all through, right? So I got into that box where the only way was up, because I can't be seeing all of these concepts, creativity, and not want to level up, right? So Instagram changed the game, and I got good. I took a really bigger step. I met with some Nigerian folks too, which were doing great. I created a lot of fun project back then, which I also posted on my Instagram, and that was when the game now completely changed. Then I was still like a portfolio person. I was still like posting my works on Instagram with some story and support from the design community, which were great. And through that, I got a couple of gigs, right? Like, I got a couple of gigs. I think the first one will be one that how much did I charge? I think I charged like 20,000 naira then. This was really interesting. Like, I realized that I had been missing a gold mine right from start, right? I was offering the graphic design gig on Fiverr. I could have come in real life and make this something that I can scale. I think that was my first time earning that high. I mean, the person didn't even argue the price, and I felt bad because wow, really? So some people can really afford this for branding. So it's really crazy. So I continue. I intensified my efforts with posting. I mean, I was also creating some fun project on the side. So there was this day that a a knock came in my DM. Person inquired about my services. We got on a call. I remember the call, then we got on a call back then. So we discussed the project at length. We discussed what I'm going to be offering her and what she's going to need and all those stuff, right? And I told her my price. I told her 80k back then, 80,000. Yeah, I think that was so. I mean, I had a lot of balls. I went from 20,000 to 80,000. It was really crazy. So yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, although she negotiated a bit, but I insisted on that, and she said she was going to get back. So I think second or third day she got back and she said she's going to be working with me. I was super happy, super excited, right? I was very excited because that would probably be my first time earning that high. We have affirmed my belief in the fact that you can get jobs on social media. So I mean, I was sold on social media entirely. So Instagram has that was, I mean, those were the moments that kind of defined my love for Instagram because it's dear to my heart. Right. So after then I was also getting some other jobs. I mean, referrals on Instagram. I was getting some, I did some jobs for some foreign firms too, then freelance. They were totally freelance jobs, right? So I think in 2019, 2020, early 2020, that was when the carousel wave came in. I mean, people were redefining content. Creatives redefine content, entrepreneurs redefine content. We're faced with a new way to connect with people, to connect with our audience. So then I got into carousel bandwagon, and that was when I started positioning myself as the go-to brand guy. So I niched down into branding, started offering advice in branding, and that totally revamped the game once more for me. It revamped the game, like it totally changed the game for me. And so it's really, I mean, those were really the turning points personally. I mean, personal wise, they really changed things for me. So then I think 3 months or 2 months down the lane, then 3 months I think. So I got a knock, and the client wants to brand a startup. So it was a startup then, an event planning agency. So then it coincided with when, I mean, it coincided with the period when I started learning brand strategy. All right. So I didn't want to be the logo guy anymore. I didn't want to just be the logo person. I wanted to be the full brand person, right? So, and I realized I can't be that if there was no sort of strategy to it back then. And I think those were the period where strategy gained waves. So I was fascinated, right? And I kind of dived into it. Took a lot of courses, resources, I mean, name it, just to solidify my own expertise in that field, right? So the client came in and, like always, navigated the conversation. This time I'm pitching the fact that I'm going to be doing strategy for her. So that was the point where I charged 800,000 naira, which is really nice, right? This is really cool. I mean, I was still starting, so I probably would have charged more. I probably didn't charge for strategy at all, but I just charged probably for design. But those were really interesting times, and this was really fantastic, like really fantastic. So it has been like a big journey for me, because I went from working for a platform to actually working for myself right now. I mean, right from the start, I've always hoped that I was going to have an agency where I recruit people, where we actually do big work for big agencies, big companies. And yeah, I'm grateful that I'm doing that right now with Brand Solid, which is totally awesome. When I look back now, I've done a lot of things. I mean, I've charged some ridiculous, fee for my services, and really all of those things have contributed to where I am today, to the experience that I have today. And they kind of shaped me and my career. That's basically my journey from quitting Fiverr to charging my first money offline. So if you're in that space where you need to go from working to a platform to actually earning all the money for yourself, then I would just say just go for it, right? If you continue to do both sides, you probably might get fed up at the end of the day. Yeah, I know stability is something that freelancers want. We like stability, and the fact that we are called freelancer, I mean, it's just natural that there are some days where everything will be dry, and there are some days where everything will be wet, right? So you need to just go all in on your ambitions. If it's something that you really want to do, drop it, quit Fiverr, whatever, quit Upwork, it doesn't matter. Just go all in on what you want to do. You need to put yourself in those communities, in those things. You need to know how to do some things so that you can also, I mean, people can see you and people will want to work with you, right? Don't accept the narrative of you can't get client on social media. That's false, because I have, and so many other people have. Thanks for listening to my rant all along. I hope you learned something. If you've heard all my rant up to this point, then thank you. And don't forget to like and also subscribe to continue to get this kind of value for me. And I also have some other videos in my channel. You can consider watching any of these to get yourself started when it comes to branding. So if you have anything that you want me to share, if you have any suggestions on topics, don't hesitate to drop them in the comments, and definitely I will consider them. Thank you, and see you in the next video.